welcome to Mona King Creative Design Studio. Today, I'm very happy to interview a very good friend of mine, the one and only Mukesh Savani. Hello, Mukesh.
Hi, Mona.
Hello, because Mukesh, everyone knows that you are very proud of being an African. You were born and brought up in Uganda.
Yes, yes.
So, could you talk about why did you move to UK? And have you ever
Okay.
faced any cultural shock?
Yeah, firstly, why did I move to the UK? It, two reasons. One was actually, I moved actually in December 1970. So this year in December, I'll have been in the UK for 50 years.
Yeah.
I'm revealing my age now.
Yeah.
And that was in the first instance to come to the UK because I wanted to study in the UK. And I had an uncle, my mother's youngest brother, lived in Sheffield. And so you naturally go where you know somebody. So I actually ended up in Sheffield. And the other reason for coming here was that subsequently, within a year or so, everybody, all Asians, all Indians, had to leave Uganda.
Yeah.
And most of them came to the UK. So I came a little bit earlier than that, but rest of my family and other people had to leave very, very rapidly as refugees. Now, you talked about cultural shock.
Yeah.
Let me just take you back. When I was in a secondary school, I was in a Catholic boys' school. Yeah. And we used to have English language, English literature, we had etiquette lessons. So when I finished my O levels, GCSEs, in December of 1970, I came to Sheffield. I landed in London, went straight up to Sheffield, and distinction in English language, English literature, spoke the Queen's English.
Yeah.
I found in Sheffield nobody spoke English. They spoke Yorkshire. And the culture, the language, everything was different. Yeah. So it did take me many months to get used to, first of all, understanding people, what they were saying, and the culture. But I became a Sheffielder. I became a Yorkshire person, if you can understand. And I'm quite proud of that. All my three children are born in Sheffield. And when you get to understand the culture in the north of England and particularly in Yorkshire, it's a very, very warm and caring culture, because everybody looks after your neighbor and things like that. It's not like some big metropolitan area. In fact, Sheffield quite often has been referred to not necessarily as the fourth largest city in England, but as the biggest village in England. You know, so that cultural shock. Let me just give you a quick example. When I went to school in Sheffield, they said, "Oh, are you? What are you having for school dinner?" I thought, "Oh my God, school dinner? Are we going to stay here till the evening?" But I thought lunch, dinner, but school dinner is lunch really, and so I got to learn all that sort of stuff and the differences in language, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And it's now all part of what makes me as a person who has an Indian heritage. My grandfather came from India. They went to Africa, and with like 3 generations African, so we are African in one sense. And then you come to the UK and you have an English culture, and that all becomes part of the family. So modern families are quite complex.
Yeah, I know. So do you speak any Indian languages?
Yeah, my mother tongue is Gujarati.
Yeah.
And so when I was a little boy studying in school in Uganda, we used to actually have Gujarati classes. So I learned to read and write and speak Gujarati. And as you probably know, the Indian languages are related. So the national language in India is very similar, not the same, similar. So I can understand and speak Hindi, which is similar to Urdu.
Yeah.
And if somebody spoke things like Punjabi or some of those languages, I probably understand what people were saying. Um, in school, I told you I obviously learned English, but I also took French as a language. So I would struggle to speak French now, but you know, if somebody spoke something, I'd probably understand what they were saying.
Because for language, if you don't use them for a while, you get rusty. It's very
Yes.
normal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big issue. I think in a lot of immigrant communities, what happens is that there's a desire by parents to say we want to preserve our culture, we want to preserve our language, and there are a lot of families who do succeed because we used to send our children on a Saturday morning to language classes and to learn the language. So they do speak and read and write Gujarati, my children, but mostly, and I mean probably 99% of the time, they will speak English. Yeah, so that's how societies develop and adopt the language and culture of where they're living.
Yeah. Wow. It's fascinating to listen to your heritage background. And also, let's talk about your business, because a lot
Okay.
of people know Mukesh as Savani Consultancy,
Yeah.
because you have been in the finance sector for a long time.
Yes.
And now you mainly focus on your well-being business, which is
Yeah.
Zinzino.
Yeah.
So could you talk about your transformation from your finance sector to your
Yeah.
well-being business?
Okay. So just to go back a bit, when I graduated, I graduated in physiology and biochemistry. And, so I was always a science sort of person, and always want evidence-based and research-based and things. And so in early days, I did work in research labs and look at issues to do with how medicinal chemistry is applied to different situations. Um, and then made a conscious change in career and joined the financial services back in the late 80s. And so for some 30 odd years, I've been a financial planner. That's still going strong. We advise people on their financial planning, their investment strategies, particularly on pensions and protection and inheritance. But last year I was just coming to a ripe old age, so I thought I need to make a change. I want to give something back. I want something to be a challenge and take up a challenging project. And then a friend of mine just said, "Look, there's something I've come across from Scandinavia, which the NHS isn't doing anytime soon." I went to my GP. I went to the hospital. Said, "How about this?" Because I found that there's a British Medical Journal paper from 2018 which says we ought to look at your omega-6 to 3 ratios. We ought to look at your cell membrane fluidity, and the chronic inflammation at a cellular level determines whether you're going to get chronic illnesses, whether you're going to get cardiovascular disease, whether you're going to get arthritis and all these sort of things. And the NHS hasn't got the capacity to do this. So I saw it as an opportunity to bring preventative health program and touch as many lives as possible. So we work as a team in the UK, and in the last year we've touched nearly 3,000 lives. And the ambition over the next 2 to 3 years is to touch over 200,000.
Wow.
And show people that there's a better way to eat, that that regular exercise, that the importance of sleep, but also the fact that what people buy from the supermarkets and things isn't very good. So read the labels, but then when you supplement, don't just supplement randomly. But what excited me was that there's a blood test you can do, which you send off to an independent lab, and it actually shows you if you are in balance or you're carrying chronic inflammation, or whether your cell membranes are rigid or fluid, your mental acuity is good or not. So that sets the benchmark. If everything's all right, then whatever you're doing is great. Carry on. If it's not, there is something we can do about it. Even people who are supplementing and taking things from the regular stores or from direct providers, and some people are taking, I don't know, omega-3 oils, the purest ones, for years. When we test them, they're not in balance. We say, what's going on?
Yeah.
So the scientists that we're working with have shown why that is the case.
Yeah, sure.
And so we've got solutions which actually address that, which address the absorption of food better, which absorption of the supplements better, which make sure that the right sort of things actually get to all the cells in the body. And then we do a second test. So it's evidence-based, it's test-based. Yeah, so it's just like your doctor would do. And we try to work with your doctors and things, because this is just enhancing your lifestyle, but with a preventative health program. It's better to prevent rather than find that you're ill and then just patch it up with a lot of medications.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yep.
And also during this pandemic, most people are quite worried, and but we also aware of our health and how to boost our immune system. So how could Zinzino help us?
Right. It's quite interesting that the chief scientist on the advisory board that we work with is a gentleman by the name of Dr. Paul Clayton. And you can Google him. And actually, funny enough, he was writing a book on the immune system before the pandemic. He spent the last 50 years developing the science of pharmaconutrition and issues around the immune system. And he published a book during the pandemic. It was going to be published anyway, so it's worth getting it, and his other books on pharmaconutrition. But what he said is that all these things can be boosted from the inside. Yeah. So first understand the science, rather than taking vitamins and minerals and things randomly. Let's understand the science. So let's understand the different aspects of the immune system. And at each point, what mineral or what vitamin or what coenzyme will you need to boost that part of the cycle, of the immune cycle. So if you then put all those things in the right proportions together, and there's some additional things which most supplement people don't put, like 1316 beta glucans, which give the immune system an extra boost. Yeah. And when you put all those things together in one mixture, now that particular thing that we promote boosts your immune system like no others. But you don't take it on its own. You need to also address the chronic inflammation, which I talked about earlier.
True, yeah.
And the third element is to address your gut.
Yeah.
Most people know that your gut is like your second brain. Yeah. And if the fibers in there, if the is it gram negative or gram positive, which will mean that if your bad bacteria overpower your good bacteria in the gut, your absorption of the nutrients, your fundamentals of where you get your food from is compromised. So what we do is we address all three at the same time, and that health protocol is what's going to lead to a healthier life. And people describe all sorts of things, saying, "Oh, my arthritic pain went away," or my IBS, I don't feel that anymore, or I feel more alert. I feel healthier. My recovery. We've got a lot of sports people doing the health protocol, and they say, "Oh, my recovery time is halved," and things. We've got some professional footballers who are using the stuff. Yeah. But even if you don't feel right, even if you don't feel any different, it doesn't mean good things are not happening. A lot of people, they're feeling okay, and then suddenly one day they have a heart attack. Well, did the heart attack actually happen then, or was it in the making for the last 20, 30 years with that chronic inflammation and the lifestyle and the food and the lack of exercise you were having, which finally led to that point?
Yeah.
So the idea is that even yes, we have the blood test to prove it, but even if you feel okay, it doesn't mean on the inside things are going right. So all of us have to. What the pandemic has revealed is two things. One is that our health is precarious.
Yeah.
People's immune systems, which were stronger, probably fare better against not just this, but any virus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we must look after ourselves. That's the first. The other thing it revealed was that our jobs, our economy, our livelihood is one paycheck, one day away from disaster.
Yeah.
We were living happily and just carrying on, going to the pub, having a pint and a joke and a laugh and a giggle. But suddenly it revealed that the lifestyle is not so secure.
No.
So what is it? We must, all of us, think about what are our backup plans? What is it we can do to secure our future? Yeah? And so that's the mission I'm on, and with real passion, sort of saying, one, how many lives can we touch, and how can we help people with preventative health?
Mm-hmm.
Make that central core. And the other side is whoever wants to can join us in that mission to take it to even more people, and in that process create an additional income and secure that. In fact, in the pandemic, our income on the health promotion has gone up 600%.
Wow.
We've gone from zero to nearly £500,000 a month turnover within the UK in this business from introducing this concept to the UK in a matter of months.
Yeah.
So it's actually revealed the flaws both in the health and the economic cycle within this country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what will happen in the future is people need to learn to look after themselves, to take control of their lives, and not just drift and rely on just thinking that everything tomorrow is going to be okay, because tomorrow will bring another challenge.
Yeah, I totally agree. So it's mainly about changing your lifestyle for longer term.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't guarantee that you will be healthy forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that with these sort of messages of leading healthier lives and actually evidence and test-based solutions, we can change the course of the future so that it will be prevention, so that people don't have to suffer a stroke or a heart attack or arthritis or Alzheimer's and all these things, and less reliant on pharmaceutical medicines to patch it up at a later date. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, we absolutely need some pharmaceuticals. Of course, we need doctors, but the prevention needs more of an emphasis, and that's where we are hoping. In fact, we're getting a lot of GPs, hospital doctors, consultants actually join our team on this mission to take this message of preventative health out to the public.
Yeah. Well, sounds great. Okay, so thanks very much for the interview today.
Well, thanks very much for your time, Mona. It's been a pleasure, and I hope that anybody who's looking out there will just sort of message us and reach out and say, look, I want to change my health status. I want to find out if I can join your team and take this message out there to create better health. Then let's have a chat.
Yeah, I have faith in you because I believe you will be doing very well.
Thank you.
Because everyone is taking things more seriously now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this year has been a wake-up call for everybody, and we need to obviously address these serious issues. At the same time, we need to be kinder to people. We need to look after our neighbors. That's one of the things that this emergency has thrown up. That we need to more people are doing Zooms with their families that they never did before. Yeah, and so I'm hoping that out of a disaster and this pandemic, we come out a more smilier, more happier, more caring, more kinder society and a community. You know.
Yeah. Of course, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely to chat to you. So see you at Fort Networking very soon. See you on Monday.
Take care. Thanks very much, Mona.
Bye.
Bye.